Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
Huh? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So
Now visible.
uh, we have to start the abdomen. Okay, thoracic cavity we have completed. So now next part is the abdomen or abdominal cavity. Now here you see the first we have to study the bones of the abdomen. So you see the photograph here. So this is the course of the diaphragm. So from here to up to the pelvic inlet, this is whole is the abdomen. Now what are the bones you are going to get in the abdomen? So mainly the lumbar vertebrae. Of course, some of the part of the bone of the ribs are also present in the abdomen, but we are not going to study because we have these bones we have already completed in the thorax. That is why the bones of the abdomen we are going to study the only the lumbar vertebrae. So these are the lumbar vertebrae. So these are the lumbar vertebrae.
Sir, someone is unable to join.
I have there is no indication coming here. Okay.
Okay,
So
sir.
I do not know what to do. I have already given instruction that one that automatically you can join there. Okay. So the bones of the lumbar vertebrae will comes under the abdomen. Now we are going to see the lumbar vertebrae. Here you see, as we know, the lumbar vertebrae, that means the bones of the lumbar vertebrae all are typical bone. As it is a typical bone, it is having three characters: body, arc, and process. Now coming to the body. So here you see, this is the body of the vertebrae. You know all these things. Now these vertebrae are 6 in number in case of ox. Characterized by greatly elongated transverse process. This is the transverse process. So transverse process is well developed in the lumbar vertebrae. Now the body is constricted in the middle and expanded in the extremity. You see, in the middle it is constricted. In the anterior and the posterior surface it is expanded. That is a character in the body of the lumbar vertebrae. So what is that character? So it is constricted in the middle and expanded on both the sides. Now the anterior extremity is less convex and the posterior extremity is less concave. As we know, the anterior extremity of the body is concave. This is the anterior extremity. This is the posterior extremity. Posterior extremity is convex. Anterior extremity is concave. But this concavity or convexity is less as compared to the other vertebrae. Other vertebrae means the thoracic vertebrae or the cervical vertebrae. So as compared to the other vertebrae, this convexity or concavity are less. The arches of the first three are equal in size, but behind they gradually increase in breadth and height. Arches means this is the arc. This is the arc. Have you seen my cursor?
Yes.
Yes, sir, or no, sir?
Yes, sir.
So this is the arc. So this
Sir.
arc is equal in size for the first three vertebrae. But gradually, if you go to the fourth, fifth, and sixth lumbar vertebrae, this breadth and height will be increased. The posterior notches are much deeper. Posterior notches mean, as we know, arc is having one notch here. The notch is present in this area. That notch is more deeper. The intervertebral foramina are large. Intervertebral foramina is this one. This is large. Now coming to the articular process. So articular process. So this is a typical lumbar vertebrae. This is the supraspinous process. This is the transverse process. This is the ventral spinous process. Okay. This is the articular process. So these are the articular process. The first is the articular process. I am talking about this one, articular process. Here you see, this is the articular process. These are two anterior articular process, and this is the posterior articular process. The anterior articular process are large, placed a little further apart, and are strongly curved. You see, there is a curve here. So strongly curved, you will be getting here, also curved. Have you seen this curve? So curve is there. The anterior articular process are concave. This is concave. This one is concave. Directed medially, and so the mammillary process on their lateral aspects. Mammillary process you will be getting here. This is the mammillary process. The posterior articular process is convex. Below you will get the convexity. This is the convex area, directed outwards, and project from arc, the base of the superior spine. So that means what you want to know. So the anterior articular process is concave medially, and the posterior articular facet is convex laterally. Now coming to the transverse process. This is the transverse process. Here in this photograph, these are the transverse process. The transverse processes are elongated plate. They are elongated plate-like structure, flattened from above downwards. This is the above, and this side is the downward. So from above downwards, it is flattened and project outwards. It projects outward from the body at the right angle. So the angle formed by the body and the transverse process, there is a right angle. The processes are all directed forwards. You see, the direction of these processes is forward. You see here, forward, forward. The processes is cranially going, so it is directed forward. They are shortest in the first. The first one is shortest, then gradually increase up to the fifth, and sixth one is abruptly short. So you see what is the direction. So transverse process, they are flattened in nature. They arise from the body forming a right angle, and these transverse processes are project forwards. The length of these transverse processes are shorter in the first, then gradually increase up to the fifth. Then you will get abruptly. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the 5. The sixth one is present here. In this photograph, the sixth one is not available. Sixth one is abruptly shorter. And these are the transverse processes of the lumbar vertebrae. In between these, you will get one muscle. That the name of the muscle is intertransversalis lumborum. You remember this name. When I will discuss the sublumbar muscles, sublumbar means below the processes of the lumbar vertebrae. So that muscles, when I will teach, I will use this terminology, intertransversalis lumborum. Now what is this muscle? It is a sublumbar muscle that is located in between the transverse processes of the lumbar vertebrae. So in between these transverse processes, there is a space. That space is occupied in life by intertransversalis lumborum muscle. Clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Next, spinous process. You see here, these are the spinous process. These are the spinous process. Now the spines are broad flattened plates. They are broad and flattened plate-like structure, resemble the last thoracic. That means this is the last thoracic vertebra. So, sorry, this is the last thoracic vertebra. So the spine of the last thoracic vertebra is similar to the lumbar vertebra. The spine of the last vertebra is narrowest. So this is the last, this is narrow, otherwise it is broader. The ventral spines are rudimentary, that means ventral, this one. Ventral spines are rudimentary and afford attachment to the ventral longitudinal ligament. As we know, ventrally, in the intercentral articulation, you will get three ligaments. One is capsular ligament, another is dorsal longitudinal ligament, and there is ventral longitudinal ligament. The ventral longitudinal ligament is attached with the ventral spine. Now coming to the first lumbar vertebra. The body of the first lumbar vertebra is small and cylindrical. You see, this is the first lumbar vertebra. So body is short and small and cylindrical. It articulates anteriorly with the last thoracic segment. This is the last thoracic vertebra. This is the rib. So posteriorly no rib. That means this is the last thoracic vertebra. So the first lumbar vertebra is connected to the last thoracic vertebra. The space between the two anterior oblique processes is the shortest. You see, this is the oblique process. This is the oblique process or articular process. Here it is joined. This is shortest in the series. Here it is longest, but here it is shortest. So also the transverse processes between the first and the second lumbar segment. So transverse processes first and second are shortest. Now sixth lumbar vertebra. So last lumbar vertebra is this one. This one. So the body is compressed from above downwards and the neural ring is very wide. Here I cannot show you a neural ring. This is very wide. The processes are placed wide apart. The processes are wide apart. The supraspinous process is smallest in the series. This one is the smallest out of this whole series. Now coming to the horse, they are 6 in number. However, in domestic horse, they are 5 in number. That means some of the horses you will be getting 5, some of the horses you will be getting 6. The bodies are shorter. The first 3 have a distinct ventral spine. So ventral spine I cannot show you here. So this is distinct and subsides thereafter. The transverse processes increase in length from first to third. So first to third, it is increase in length, or fourth, then it is decrease. That means that is after that it will be diminished. The first 1 or 2 slightly curved backwards. Interestingly, in case of ox, all are directed forwards. So here it is going backward. The first 1 or 2 slightly the transverse process slightly forming backwards, and third at right angle. This is the right angle. It's completely straight. Then it will forward. So it is a quite different. That means the shape of the transverse processes of the lumbar vertebrae of horse is different. In case of ox, all are going towards the forward side. But in case of horse, the first 3 are going towards the backward side. First 2 or 3, then fourth is always straight, and the last 2 is going backward, going forward. The sixth transverse process is thick at the base. These are some differences. You just go through it. So only difference I want to tell you that the transverse processes are a little bit different in case of ox and horse. In case of ox, all are going forward, but in case of horse, the first three are going backward, the fourth one is straight, and the fifth and sixth is going forward. Now coming to the dog, they are 7 in number. The bodies increase in width from first to last. So body are increased. Body बड़ा हो जाता है from first to seventh. So these are the photographs. The transverse processes are plate-like. These transverse processes are plate-like and directed forwards, you see. So it is going distinctly forward in case of dog. They do not form any joint with each other or with the sacrum as in the horse. So these lumbar vertebrae will not form any joint with the sacrum. Extremities are expanded except the last. These extremities are expanded. I'm talking about these extremities are expanded except the last. The accessory or mammillary process are present. So mammillary process and accessory process are present here. Spinous process incline a little forward. This is the spinous process. This is the spinous process. It will be inclined forward. Now coming to the peak, they are 6 to 7 in number. The bodies are longer than the thoracic region. So bodies of the lumbar vertebrae are slightly longer than the thoracic and bears a ventral crest. That means ventral spinous process is present or it is developed. The arches are deeply notched and are separated by an increased space dorsally. Arches mean I am talking about this arc. Here arch is present. This deeply notched. That means notch is quite larger as compared to the dog. The mammillary process project laterally and caudally. The transverse process are bent ventrally and inclines a little cranially. This is the transverse process. The vertebrae form no articulation with each other or with the sacrum. The caudal edge of the root of the process marked by a notch. The spines are broad and inclines cranially with the exception of the last, which is narrow and vertical. So this only thing is that you have to identify these vertebrae whenever you are coming to this Selesi. We have to see the lumbar vertebrae practically so that you can identify the lumbar vertebrae to which belong to which species that you have to identify. That is my point. Now coming to the lumbar vertebrae of fowl. So lumbar vertebrae is not a separate vertebrae in case of fowl. That is a difference. The lumbar vertebrae and sacral vertebrae are combined together to form the lumbosacral bone. Here you see, this is the lumbosacral bone. Lumbosacral bone are fused together to form a single piece of bone. So they are 14 in number, and these with the 7 dorsal. Dorsal means 7 thoracic, and the first coccygeal. Togetherly 16 bones will form a mass called synsacrum. Very, very important. You note it down. What is synsacrum? So synsacrum is a piece of bone in case of birds which is formed by the lumbosacral mass that is formed by 14 numbers of vertebrae, and cranially added 1 vertebrae, that is the 7th thoracic, and caudally 1 vertebrae, that is first coccygeal. Total 16 number of bones are united together to form a mass of bone known as synsacrum. Clear to you, synsacrum?
Yes, sir.
So how many bones are present in the synsacrum?
14.
16 numbers. Okay. So how it is composed of? The first one is the 7th thoracic or dorsal. Then 14 lumbosacral mass. And last one is the first coccygeal. Okay. So 7 thoracic, 14 lumbosacral, and first coccygeal togetherly form a single piece of bone known as synsacrum. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So total
Yes,
how many
sir.
bones? Total how many bones are required to form the synsacrum?
16.
16. So what are they? Cranially, which one?
7 thoracic.
7 thoracic. Then 14 numbers of lumbosacral mass, mass, and first coccygeal. So togetherly form one piece of bone known as synsacrum. Exam में खूब आता है. Okay, synsacrum is very important for examination point of view. The spines form a crest. The spine from a crest in the anterior third, but are absent posteriorly. This crest is very prominent anteriorly. This is anterior side, and posteriorly it is less prominent. The transverse ridges of the ventral face indicate the position of the transverse process. The extremities of all the transverse processes fuse. These are, you see, extremities are fused. Transverse processes extremities are fused together with the medial border with the ilium. This is the ilium. So sorry, this is the ilium. Ilium. So with the medial border of the ilium, it is fused. The transverse processes of synsacrum are fused together with the medial border of the ilium. Now this is all about the bones of the abdomen. So what are the bones of the abdomen? You will mainly get the lumbar vertebrae. So they are 16 in, so they are 6 in number in case of ox. In case of horse, it is also 6. In case of dog, it is 7 in number. In case of dog, it is 7. In case of pig, it is 6 to 7. Now, what is the peculiarity? In the body, the anterior concave facet and the posterior convex facet are less convexity and concavity. The transverse process is well developed. In case of ox, the transverse process is going forward. The length of the transverse process is increased from 1 to 5th. Then the last one is abruptly shorted. The transverse process arises from the body forming a right angle. Now coming to the horse. In case of horse, the length of the direction of the transverse processes of first 3 is going backward. The 4th one is at right angle. The last 2 are going forward. In case of dog, all the transverse process is directed forward. In case of pig, it is also going forward, but in case of bird, the lumbar and the sacral are not separated bone. They are united together to form the lumbosacral mass. Now this lumbosacral mass is added cranially and caudally. Cranially by the 7th thoracic and caudally by the first coccygeal to form a single piece of bone known as synsacrum. the extremities of the transverse process of the synsacrum are united with the medial border of the ilium. Clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All are sleeping?
No, sir.
Sir.
No,
Huh?
sir.
Yes, sir.
I have not heard any sound. So your sound shows sleepiness. You are alert.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, I don't know if you are telling, I have to believe, is not it? So are you helping your parents to prepare food in your house? What you used to prepare? You are expert for preparing roti, but you are helping. Okay, very good. And girls, they are not helping
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
or not helping? Yes, sir means not helping, right?
Yes, sir.
Huh? The girls are not helping your mom in the kitchen. Nobody is producing any
Helping,
sound.
sir.
Helping, sir.
Nobody is producing any sound means all are sleeping and they used to do the online class and they used to enjoy the food. They are not helping their mom to prepare food, right?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No. Okay. Now coming to the next part, that is the joints of the abdomen. So joints of the lumbar vertebrae. So as we know, what type of joint you will be getting in the vertebrae? How many types of joint? Tell me now.
Fibrocartilaginous.
I broke out. How many joints you are going to get in between two vertebrae? How many different types of joints you are going to get between the two vertebrae?
Sir, two types.
What are they?
Sir, one is diaphragmal joint and
Hmm.
one is
Amphiarterial joint.
amphiarterial joint.
Amphiarterial. Okay. So amphiarterial joint in between the, where do you find in between the body arc or process?
Bodies of the vertebrae.
Body. And diatrodial joint in between the arc or process? Diatrodial joint you will be getting in between the arc or process.
Articular process.
Okay, what is process? Okay, you will get in between the processes. Now, whatever we have discussed, the joints of the thoracic vertebrae, that are same. But I want to recall, okay? Just for revision, I am telling. Same thing in the thoracic vertebrae, same thing in the lumbar vertebrae. But very first, I will show you once again so that you can recall the things, okay? So joints of the lumbar vertebrae. So you might be knowing these things because these things already been taught in the joints of the thoracic cavity or thoracic vertebrae. So there are two types of joint. One is intercentral, one is interneural. The intercentral is getting in between the bodies of the vertebrae, and the interneural articulation you will be getting in between the processes of the vertebrae. Now in the intercentral articulation, the uniting medium is intervertebral fibrocartilage. Then three ligaments you are getting: dorsal longitudinal ligament and ventral ventral longitudinal ligament. So what are the three uniting medium you will be getting? Intervertebral fibrocartilage, dorsal longitudinal ligament, ventral longitudinal ligament. Now where do you find? You see here, This is one vertebra, this is another vertebra. So what you will get in between the body, this is the body of the vertebra, this is the body of the vertebra, you will getting a fibrocartilaginous disc. This is the intervertebral fibrocartilage. Now this disc is looking like this. Peripherally it is thicker, called annulus fibrosus, and centrally it is thinner, known as nucleus pulposus. So nucleus pulposus and the annulus fibrosus are the part of the intervertebral disc. Somebody may ask you, what is nucleus pulposus? So nucleus pulposus is a thin fibrocartilaginous disc present at the center of that area. Okay. Now, dorsal longitudinal ligament, you see, this is the body of one vertebra, cut piece of the body of one vertebra, this is the body of another vertebra. So in between the body, this is the intervertebral disc. Now dorsal longitudinal ligament is white color. Have you seen white color, this one? On the floor of the vertebral canal, and this is the white is the dorsal longitudinal ligament. And this here you will get another longitudinal ligament, this one white color. So this one is known as ventral longitudinal ligament. So these are the constituents of the intercentral articulation. So intercentral articulation, three constituents. One is the intervertebral fibrocartilage, another is the dorsal longitudinal ligament, another is the ventral longitudinal ligament. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So you are telling clearly, yes sir, very, I mean to say boldly.
Yes, sir.
But I am very, very sorry then when I used to ask, you do not want to speak. I don't know if you are not speaking because you do not know the thing or you do not want to share your knowledge with us. That I do not know. Which one is correct? You are not speaking because you don't know, or you do not speak because you do not want to share your vital knowledge along with us. Now nobody is telling, nobody is speaking. Are you putting cellotape on your mouth?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Uh,
Then why you are not speaking? Okay, coming to the next. Interneural articulation. You see here. Now you see the photograph. Here, this is one vertebra, lumbar vertebra. This is another lumbar vertebra. Now this is one articular process of this vertebrae, and this is the articular process of this vertebrae. Okay. Now, in between these two articular process, have you seen one joint here? Have you seen one joint or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that is the interneural articulation in between the articular processes. Okay. Here you see, here, in between the articular process. Here on this side, here on this side, here on this side. So this is the joint. So this is the interneural articulation. Now, what are the components? So the components are the ligaments of this joint. That is the interneural articulation. First is the capsular ligament. So capsular ligament. So have you seen this area? Cursor, articular processes of two vertebrae. Have you seen? In
Yes,
between there is a joint. Now it is encircled by white color structure. Have you seen? Encircled by white color structure. The white color structure
Yes,
is the
sir.
ligament. So that ligament is capsular ligament. So capsular ligament encircles the processes, articular processes or oblique processes. Now second ligament is the ligamentum flava or flavum. So which one is ligamentum flavum? So here, this area, this is the ligament, this ligament is ligamentum flavum. Third is the interspinous ligament. So interspinous ligament, so this is the in between, this is the spine of vertebra. So in between the spine, you will get the interspinous ligament. Now next is the intertransverse ligament. Intertransverse ligament, I cannot show you because the transverse process is not there. So in between the transverse process, you will get the intertransverse ligament. Now supraspinous ligament. So in the top, you will get one ligament. This ligament is known as supraspinous ligament. So what are the constituent ligament of the interneural articulation? There are 5 types of ligament. One is capsular ligament. Then you will get, what is that? Ligamentum flavum.
Ligamentum flavum.
Number 3, interspinous ligament. Number 4, intertransverse ligament. And number 5, supraspinous ligament. These are the ligaments which help to form the interneural articulation. So this is all about the joints. Okay. So in the next class, we will discuss about the muscles of the abdomen. These muscles we are going to show you in the next class. Okay. Should I stop here?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank
Yes,
you
sir.
all. So in the next Thursday, in the next Thursday, I will start with the muscles of the abdomen. Muscles of the abdomen are very important because we have to perform operations in your field. When you will be appointed as a veterinary doctor, you have to do operations. Most of the operations you have to perform in the field in the abdomen. So you have to know the muscles of the abdomen very well so that you can do operation. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.